Hi, Carly here. We're sharing some of our favorite episodes from our Patreon archives here on the main feed. If you're looking for even more Sister Wives content, we've recapped all 20 seasons, and every recap is available ad-free on Patreon at patreon.com/survivingpod. And for a limited time, use code SSW50 to get 50% off of your first month. Thanks for listening and enjoy the episode.
Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives, the podcast where a monogamous couple drink heavily while recapping Sister Wives on TLC.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is Season 11, Episode 3, He Pops the Question.
And be careful, because sometimes when I write it too quickly and I go to read it in my notes, I thought it said he poops the question. So it's always good to start off an episode within the first minute with a poop joke, I suppose.
He was in the ideal position to take a dump.
It was a squatty potty proposal, essentially, what was taking place here.
They were trying so hard not to get that in the frame, but he was not down on one knee. He was squatted on that rock.
Yeah, I don't know why he was so confused about the concept of being on one knee.
Well, I think he thought out a lot of other parts of the proposal and didn't thoroughly think that part out.
We'll talk about it when we get to it, because, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts and opinions as usual. But in the meantime, the episode description from TLC is Madison lays out the plans for her wedding. Janelle and Meri's therapist pushes them to take a terrifying next step in their struggling relationship, and the Browns family may be growing again after a special proposal.
Okay, there's so many things in this episode description. First, the terrifying aspect of getting in a room with Meri and having to talk through your feelings.
Well, I liked even the first part where it's Madison lays out the plans for her wedding, period, stop, end of sentence. None of this correlates with anything else that you're going to see in the episode. It's just its own standalone statement.
It does feel like we're really shoving the Maddie content in where it really doesn't fit. We don't care that much. I'm not that excited about this wedding.
We can't be, but it would be terrifying doing therapy with Meri, not going to lie.
And then the Browns family may be growing again. The proposal is not a done deal, apparently.
Yeah, you got to build in the suspense. Is Christine going to veto this? That's what we have to find out. But before we jump in, let's go ahead and hear the Carly episode rewrite description for this one.
Robyn forgets she missed Logan's graduation. Meri finally gets appointed a role in Maddie's wedding. Tony gets into a deep squat to propose to Mykelti against her parents' wishes.
It's a deep squat. It is. Quads are firing, you know? He's engaged. Oh, see?
Oh, I love when a joke circles right back to the beginning again.
There it is. It's a double entendre.
Announcements. Join us over at the virtual cul-de-sac at patreon.com/survivingpod, where you can listen to ad-free episodes. You can also listen to a ton of additional content over there, including our back catalog of recaps of Sister Wives seasons 1 through 9, and our Let's Talk About It episodes, where we recap random episodes of other shows outside of the Sister Wives universe.
And then we've also got a special thing going on this month, and probably into next month, with Seeking Brother Husband, where we're recapping that 2 episodes at a time. So we've released the first 2 episodes, and then next week we'll be coming out with episodes 3 and 4 on that recap.
And this week we're going to be doing a recap of John and Kate plus 8, which I can already tell Corey is looking forward to.
These are trying times on the pod for Corey. I'm not going to lie.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's get this pony in the water, because we can't get this donkey in the water, unfortunately.
We open up in St. George, Utah.
Gross. Ew.
Yuck. We're there because Mykelti is getting ready to go hiking with Tony.
They have been dating for the last 7 months. Mykelti loves Tony. We're pretty sure Tony loves Mykelti. She's pretty sure. They're fairly confident about this.
And she thinks she also loves hiking, even though she has recently had an injury, which is very apparent. We got a busted up noggin. We got a busted up leg. We got a crusty.
Crusty? Bruises get crusty? It was a significant.
It wasn't a bruise.
There was signific bruising.
I thought that it was like it was like blood.
You thought it
dried
was
up
dirty?
blood.
No.
I thought it was dried, crusted over blood.
Well, technically, I guess in a way.
Okay, everyone just shut the podcast off right now.
We're going to have to correct some things. Again, we're not a medical podcast by any means.
It was a bruise?
This looks like bruising.
Okay.
That took place. There's definitely not any sort of blood. There wasn't a scraping that took place. It seemed like this was a bruise situation.
Okay, well.
From my medical diagnosis, which again means.
No degree, no nothing.
Pretty much nothing.
As good as a brown chiropractor, huh?
As I started off with a poop joke on this episode, you can take my medical diagnosis as you see fit.
But the perfect time to propose, right? She's looking her best.
I would like to know. Well, I didn't know that hiking required a helmet, but apparently for Mykelti, pretty much everything should probably involve a helmet.
Now, Tony is hoping that Mykelti's not catching on to what's going on today. I mean, we're just going on a date in her mind, right? Even though the cameras are here capturing this entire date.
Well, this is a cool hike. It's not just your everyday, normal, knock your head against a rock sort of hike. So that's why the cameras are here. Or either that or the producers found out that Mykelti took a tumble on the last hike. So they were like, oof, we really missed some drama. Damn, we got to be on the next one. You let us know the next time you guys are going hiking because we want to film that shit.
And so they're here, and I guess they're not supposed to be suspicious at all. I'm sorry, as Robyn would say, suspicious.
Just don't be suspicious of me.
But Tony and Mykelti went to look at rings a few weeks ago.
She knows the play.
She knows she's going to be getting proposed to soon. It's just, is this situation suspicious enough?
And Tony's got plans. Tony is thinking he's going to be moving ahead here. We're going to take the hike to this special place. We're going to read a poem. Well, not even read. We're going to recite a poem that he himself has composed.
An original poem.
Original poem. He's going to get down on one knee. Again, this is the point where he even admitted, or however you do that, because the concept of getting down on one knee seemed pretty abstract to Tony at this point, and I don't know why. Because you should be able to do that.
You have to tell me your initial thoughts about the poem before we ever even heard it.
My expectations were low, and he didn't disappoint.
As soon as he said that he was going to recite a poem, I cringed. My whole body clamped so hard. Everything dried up.
Maybe that's what he was going for. They are supposed to have a chaste courtship, so maybe that was the intention.
As we know, Christine isn't a big fan of Mykelti getting married, and last week, Tony asked Tony, I'm going to get that fucked up a lot. And last week, Cody asked Tony to agree to a few points, but
they should have got those in writing.
Tony has forgotten some of them at this point. You know, it's actually the most important point is the one he can't remember, which was the one about them having a longer courtship if they wanted to get married sooner. Yes, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's because it was a Cody original thought.
Yeah, you add time here, not there, and then it makes it longer in between the weddings, and that's what we're looking for.
But here's the problem. They already want to get married. We're not going to forget that we wanted to get married until the point that Tony proposes while we're having the longer courtship.
Look, I guess maybe of those 3 points, Cody would be willing to secede on the one as long as they still agree to not talk shit about polygamy and have a chaste courtship. I think those were the other 2 items on the list. And he was able to agree to those pretty quickly and then immediately forgot about moving the wedding to December.
Cody's trying to talk shit on the couch with all the wives about this whole 6-month timeline situation, that they've only been together for 6 months. They already know that they want to get married. In their heads, that's a long time in this reality that they're living in.
And Meri has to chime in and she's like, Cody, you proposed to me after 2 months. So not just their reality, it's your reality too.
The awkward silence after she said that, where the room just, all the energy got sucked out of it because everyone at the same time was thinking, well, that was a big fucking mistake.
We had to soak in that.
Not really making a good point, Meri.
So they're beginning this hike. Again, I am concerned that Mykelti doesn't have a helmet. She doesn't have the proper headgear for this. But we're going to go on. We're continuing on.
Things are off to a bad start, though, because this is a long hike. And Tony has realized that he has forgotten to pack the food in this frenzy of worrying about forgetting the words to the poem he's written.
And if we're being honest, I think food should take priority over the words to the poem. No matter how good, even if you have the best poem ever written, by the time you get to this location at the end of this hike, you can't eat those words.
That's why I married you.
Bring the food. Food is top of the list.
The family's reflecting on how different Mykelti is when Tony's around. Christine says she's quiet. I don't really know who she is. But then all the kids are like, yeah, they bring out great things in each other. Tony really seems to be like this amazing match for Mykelti. Their personalities are just perfect together.
It's kind of confusing, right? Because, Christine is still looking for
a flaw in Tony.
Not even a flaw. Yeah, just someone else in the family who would have some doubts that she could lean into and kind of stoke that fire.
But nobody's getting on the same page with her. Everybody is kind of like, I think Tony's the right person for Mykelti. Not for a lot of other people, but for Mykelti.
Oh, trust me, not for a lot of other people. Yeah, this is a very specific match, but wouldn't you expect that for Mykelti? She's like an exotic bird. She's rare, as Robyn will attest to later on this episode.
Robyn, one of the most common birds there is.
Well, she's a pretty common bird, yeah. Takes one to know one.
We've had about 9 minutes of Mykelti marriage storyline, so it's back to Maddie. We're back to planning this wedding. She's gathered all of the parents together today because they need to receive their official wedding itinerary.
Maddie and Caleb, specifically Maddie, looking to lay down the law. We are putting specific timelines together for this wedding to work out where the family needs to be at any given point during this ceremony or the surrounding events that lead up to the ceremony. Also, Caleb's family will be abiding by this itinerary as well, so there's a lot riding on this, which is why Maddie has decided to bake in additional time for her family to keep this on schedule.
Everything's just moved an hour up.
It's a good call.
But they think they're going to be on time. She hasn't told them that she secretly padded an hour into the timeline.
So if anything, they're early. And good on you for being early. Great. That will put us light years ahead of where we were expected to be. Honestly, I think this is a great move. She knows her family. Do not resist this. Accept it.
Accept it and just bake it into the plans.
Roll with it.
They're on the couch talking about how it seems like this is really the thing that's stressing Maddie out the most is will they get there on time? And Robyn laughs at the idea that they might miss the wedding. Like, why would she think that would ever happen? Such an important event.
Flash 2, Robyn driving around aimlessly on the UNLV campus, trying to find Logan's graduation that day and missing it.
Well, almost making Cody miss it too.
Almost.
And then coming in and pouting because she missed it and because nobody came to her rescue to get her out of the parking lot and into this place on time.
The family never involves me in these things. I feel like I was robbed of his graduation as a mother.
She's never going to let that happen again, though.
She's never going to let that go either. She's harboring that. But that wasn't her fault that day. That was her camcorder's fault? Whose fault was what was that? Wasn't she bringing Meri's video camera or something?
Yeah, Meri forgot her somebody forgot their camera.
Somebody forgot something, but then that left Robyn to drive that rickety old van by herself and try to find the largest building on campus to go into a graduation on time. God forbid.
The arena. It was very hard to locate.
Where everyone's going. Ask anybody on the campus where graduation is taking place.
Thousands of people in this parking lot attending this graduation couldn't find it.
But she was relying on baby Saul as her GPS, and
he needs to be recalibrated.
He wasn't able to speak at that point. He was still just an infant.
Missed a turn.
Missed a turn, and you can't recalculate because there's nothing to calibrate to.
Janelle is a little freaked out by what Maddie is exhibiting here. These are organizational skills that did not come from her DNA because it's not from Janelle. It's definitely not from Cody.
No, and everybody knows this is Meri. We're seeing Meri in Maddie here, and it's kind of scary. Nobody was ready for this.
I did think that was funny, given how much Maddie seems to despise Meri.
Yes.
But they have taken on some of her traits.
And this is a positive trait that you can take on, because then Mary's here for it. She's like, this is girl after my own heart. And I love the organization. Love to see it.
Now they try to talk about where everyone's going to sleep on the property, because they're all going to be at the wedding venue. Reminder, it's a campground with these tree houses in which they are going to stay.
Not so much tree houses as they are houses in trees.
Tree cabins,
if
you will.
Cabins is a way to think of it. But Robyn knows that there's heights involved with that. She's already getting nervous. She doesn't trust this. Something's a little suspicious.
Maddie suggests, I thought it would be fun for the boys to camp. There's definitely enough room in the tree houses for everyone. But if some of the boys want to pitch a tent and hang out outside on the campground. Careful, Carly.
Careful.
I take it back. If some of them want to camp, they can do so, because this is a campground.
In a tent, BYOT, if you want to go that route.
This is where the moms start to spiral, because now Robyn's thinking of all the extra supplies they're going to have to bring if they do that. They're going to need pillows. How'd she say it?
Pillows.
She said it weird.
Pillows?
She did not say pillows.
Okay.
Pillows.
Pillows with an E.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There it is. Pillows. They're going to need all kinds of things. And then these kids are just going to smell for the wedding.
Does she not know that, just because you sleep outside in a tent doesn't mean that you're not allowed to step foot in the cabins at all?
I mean, that's how she does things, though.
Oh, she's definitely roughing it.
And it's not her kids who are going in the tents.
No. Yeah, Robyn definitely strikes me as the roughing it type, where she needs to abide by strict camping regulations that she sets upon herself. She holds herself to a higher standard. No cheating, no indoor plumbing.
High PSR.
Yes, survival rating through the roof.
Well, she's got some other complaints about the accommodations now in the treehouse, because this is the problem with places, right? They say that they sleep X number of people, and we get on there and we say, great, that's how many spots we need. But then they don't mean that they're like actual beds. Sometimes it's a sleeper sofa.
Sometimes it's an army cot.
And we can't have our kids sleeping on a sleeper sofa for one night? They will have debilitating back issues that are going to follow them for the rest of their life. And we already spent enough money at the chiropractor.
Yeah, hotels just lie. It's just they put those numbers on there for bragging rights. They're boastful like that. That's how Robyn interprets this. This is just all a big ploy to deceive her and her large polygamist family. That's how deep this goes.
A conspiracy. It's a conspiracy against plural families.
That's what it is. It's to trick you into a false sense of security, thinking that you're going to be able to sleep in a nice, comfortable bed. And then you show up, lies and deception.
Shouldn't she need the least number of places to sleep because her kids sleep in the bed with her?
I think she was worried about the pull-out sofa situations. Because,
pulling out in general.
Yeah, she doesn't like the pull-out.
There was no way Bran or Aurora are going to sleep on a pull-out couch. That's almost like a dog bed inside an RV.
Is this where the dogs sleep? Or is that outside in the tent with the boys? And then we do have to do a call-out here for stupid sexy Dayton, who just shows up in the middle of this adult meeting. But that's for Amanda from We Love to Hate Everything, because she's a Dayton stan for season 11 for sure.
He's looking trim, slim, grown up. Now, Janelle's getting pissed at this conversation because this is the first time in her life that she has ever planned anything on behalf of the family. She has taken the reins in planning most of Maddie's wedding with her.
Has she?
She claims.
She has alleged this for a little while now, but it seems like she has delegated most of these tasks.
To
has
others?
She not? Yeah, has she not?
She has.
Mindy has been heavily involved in a lot of the planning process, as has Maddie's maid of honor, Desi.
Desi Loop Productions.
Desi.
That's how I'm remembering it.
Okay, good.
I just dated myself. How old am I, guys? But everybody's starting to question her now. She's been part of this planning process. She's told them 100 times about these tree houses and how amazing they are and how many people they can hold. And now everybody's starting to doubt if they're actually going to be able to fit in them.
Well, yeah, because they're like, well, we went on the website and it's like, how many beds are being counted as actual beds? Like, is that counting like a hammock on the back porch or something? Because that's not going to work for us. We have to be careful here. But Janelle just doesn't like all this doubt. Don't bring that negative energy with me here. I'm trying to take control here.
She is the one who was eliminating bedrooms from her house because she was anticipating not needing them in the future. So maybe not the wife to be defending understanding how much room is needed by a family.
It's true. And it's good that she's voicing her frustration, saying, hey, you guys need to back off on this because I've looked into it. Please just trust me when I say we're good.
That is progress for her.
That's good. That's an improvement. I also liked in this scene when Robyn was looking over the itinerary, which Maddie had to repeatedly state, this is just an initial draft. It's subject to change. Please don't take this as gospel truth at this point because it could change at any given time. But then Robyn was just not realizing how early they would have to be ready for some of these things, which I would love to see what times she was listing as early, maybe like 10, 30, 11-ish, around there.
That is early for a wedding.
Pretty early for her. Pretty early for Robyn.
Yeah, she doesn't wake up before noon, right?
Not usually.
She likes to wake up to the smell of searing...
foot?
Bacon.
Bacon?
The smell of bacon in the morning.
Foot bacon, specifically.
God. Back to Tony and Mykelti. We're just ping-ponging back and forth this episode.
It's a romance hike, kind of, sort of. This was a more intense hike than I thought it was going to be when we set out, right?
Yes. It did not look like the type of hike that I would want to do before I got proposed to, just because it's like hot. You're stepping through a lot of water. Your boots are wet. It seemed miserable. There's no food to eat at the end of it. But back on the couch, Mykelti and Tony are reflecting on the recent events that have occurred. Most importantly, the lunch with Cody that we talked about earlier, where he received the 3 commandments that he quickly forgot.
Well, just the one that didn't apply to them, which was postponing the wedding, essentially. Not interested in that one. We did consider it, and that's what he agreed to do. He agreed to consider delaying that and having a longer engagement process there, but immediately dismissed that. They considered it for one moment, fleeting moment, and it's right back out the window. But Cody has been won over by Tony. Tony is, according to Cody, nerdy, but he's a smooth operator. So that's what Cody's picked up on Tony's interactions. What I'm confused about is why the fandom seems to be so opposed to Tony, where Cody was won over very quickly. Maybe if we had been watching this, because in real time, Tony did kind of come out of the blue here, and it was a very short amount of time before he was already getting engaged and marrying Mykelti here on the show. Is that why people don't like him? They still don't trust him after all of these years?
I don't know. How old is he here? 21 years old? Are there many 20-year-old guys that people like?
Oh, I thought we were going a different direction with that question. I wasn't expecting that. That was a left turn right at the end there. Just in general, 20-year-old people, 20-year-old guys that people like?
A little annoying.
Yeah.
Just generally. 21-year-olds who think that they know everything. They've barely experienced the world.
Overconfident.
That grates on your nerves a little bit.
Inexperienced, overconfident. It's kind of a nasty combo there. I'm trying to think of it as, from a show context, this is completely Blindside. So I can understand where people would be shocked that this is happening so fast.
It just feels like not only the family, but the fandom at large accepted Caleb pretty easily. And he's 10 years older than Maddie, started having an interest in her when she was still a minor. He's related to her family in some way, not biologically, but they're married. Families are married into each other already. Tony has none of that.
Well, I resent that comparison because you're infringing on the emotional investment that I have in Tony and Mykelti's relationship right now from watching the show. According to Janelle's standards, that would be infringement.
Right, because we're back on the couch with the adults again, and Janelle is bringing up a new concern. This wedding, Mykelti and Tony's wedding, to be clear, because we need to define, because there's only one wedding. now.
The one wedding that matters, and then there's the other wedding.
That maybe it'll happen. We don't really care about that one. We hope it doesn't happen.
Oh, and we're just really thankful that it's not happening before the wedding, Maddie and Caleb's wedding, because we know how Mykelti probably would have tried to do that.
And Christine still isn't sure that Mykelti won't insist on getting married in August, just 2 months after Maddie. For some reason, Janelle thinks that this is going to upset the siblings in the family.
Several siblings, she calls out, but I don't know if that would happen. Maybe it would be her children directly, because most of Christine's children, older children who we hear from on the couch this episode, seem to be in agreement that Tony and Mykelti, their relationship's pretty good.
I think the only person that Janelle is concerned about is Maddie. And again, we haven't gotten Maddie's opinion on any of this.
Not directly. Yeah, so if Janelle is just veiling this as Maddie's opinion, then that would be one thing. But I don't see how any of her sons would care that much. Would Logan get upset that this is infringement and intruding on Maddie's bridal rights?
I don't think so. He's made it clear that he expects that everyone's going to start doing things at the same time now, because that's how it's always been. They're born very close together, so they're likely to go through important life situations at the same times.
And again, friendly reminder, because everybody seems to forget this every fucking episode, is that Maddie and Mykelti are the same age. So for them to be getting married within a couple months of each other, it's not that crazy in this family.
I feel like people are going to be shocked that we are a little on Mykelti's side here. I'm not for the whole Maddie can't have anyone else have anything special happen in their life anywhere around her wedding occurring, before or after.
Yeah, you can't pause everybody else's life because something's happening for your life.
Like, what grace period is required after Maddie's wedding concludes for someone else in the family to have something happen in their life?
How long should a moment of silence be to stay respectable? I don't know. It's hard to define.
And again, Janelle's really concerned about this, but let's remember that she tried to marry Cody on Meri's birthday. Who is the number one infringer?
Yeah, that is something right there to consider, because then if she knows and she's placing this much emphasis on it, then what was your motive in that initially? I'm sure she didn't know that it was Meri's birthday. Well, I don't know, because that was her sister-in-law.
She knew.
Close enough. So, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of danger zone.
Mykelti, though, is sure that 3 months is enough time to plan an entire wedding. She doesn't want a big affair. She wants something simple, just with her family, her close friends, 3,000 tacos. Simple.
We haven't even gotten to the tacos yet.
No.
I'm ready to talk tacos. I am. So we'll prepare for that. But
we need something to bring the mood down a little bit.
We got to take a step back here. It's been a few weeks for Meri and Janelle. They went and had a fantastic Hawaii vacation. Now they got to go back and talk to Nancy some more. So we're going to continue the therapy storyline. Meri's very unsure about how all this has been going. She seems very reluctant. Janelle even is talking about how much she dreads this. Forget all the emotional investment and work that goes into the therapy sessions themselves. Just Janelle going and showing up for therapy is emotional work on her side.
She is dragging herself to come to these appointments to have to be face-to-face with Meri.
Again, just add it to the list of people who just dread being in the same room as Meri. That's a lot of people in the family.
Now, they had a homework assignment for while they were in Hawaii. They were supposed to do a fun activity together. So Nancy wants an update. How did that go? How was the trip? Tell me.
So they're starting in with some general Hawaii chit-chat, how great of a vacation it was. And then they go into their bonding experience that they decided to share with each other, which then ultimately means that Meri has to recount the eyebrow situation that framed all of this to Nancy, their therapist, who looks so very confused. And why did Nancy look so different to me this episode? She looked like she got recast or something.
Was it glasses?
It might have been glasses. I think she
didn't have them on.
She used to wear glasses and then she wasn't wearing glasses at this one, or she didn't have glasses before and then she did have glasses on this one. I can't remember.
It's hard to pinpoint what's changed.
But she looked different, and it was like being in a dream when you're talking with someone and you think it's that person, but you know it's not that person because you're looking right at them and it's like, that's not that person. It was kind of like that for me.
I didn't think that she looked confused when Meri was telling the story. I think she looked somewhat horrified.
A little terrified about like, this is bonding for you? This is how these are your interpersonal relationships with people in this family? This is how you navigate this?
So the big question, do you feel like your relationship is developing? How do you feel like things have been going here?
Oh, and whoa, Meri doesn't like big labels like developing.
It just makes it sound like we're like moving towards becoming best friends. And that's not what I would really call it. Is that what the word developing? A relationship?
The fact that she jumped to that is the implication for her from that question was absolutely absurd.
Well, maybe Nancy needed to clarify. On a scale of you are at each other's throats, you hate one another, you can't stand the sight of each other, to your BFFs, where are we at on the scale here? Have we made it beyond the vitriol that you had for each other before?
We're like medium low right now. Whatever that is. What is that, 4? Was that 1 to 10? Maybe like a 4.
But it turns out neither of them feel like much progress has really been made. So good job, Nancy.
Yeah, we're really doing a bang-up job, I think, so far. The one thing that we have made progress on is that Janelle has, again, delegated a task for Maddie's wedding to Meri, because we don't have a wedding planner set role, somebody that we've hired in to kind of make sure that everything goes off flawlessly on the day. So that's something that Janelle knows that she can't wrap her head around. So it just seems natural that we're going to go ahead and hand over basically all of the success of the day, just relying squarely on Meri's shoulders.
So they have picked the family member that everyone dislikes the most to do this very important task where they have to go around and yell at everyone to make sure that they're on time and doing what they should be doing, and that all the vendors have properly set things up and that everyone is getting paid. That is what they've entrusted Meri with, because she's a bitch.
It just makes sense. It made sense to have Meri play the enforcer role because she does it so well.
You know what? It also has another benefit, because then they don't have to see her as much. We're going to get rid of her during all the really important times that Maddie wants to spend bonding with other people.
She's going to be occupied.
Keep her busy and far away.
She's got stuff to do. But again, that's just an example of the co-parenting. How well we've been co-parenting these last 20 years, 20 some odd years.
They're adult children?
Sure. It's been great.
The ones who have grown, we're doing a really great job with.
When I need Meri to be a bitch, I know I can count on her to be a bitch for me and my children.
And Janelle says things are getting better. I used to go out and take the trash out, and I would see Meri across the cul-de-sac taking her trash out at the same time, and I wouldn't even look up.
Don't make eye contact. Don't acknowledge. Just ignore.
But now I'd give her like a friendly neighbor hello.
Boy, it's a hot one out there.
So things are really getting better.
It's warming up. Can you feel it? Can you feel the connection, the bond that we're making here? So this is where Nancy's like, okay, well, that's good. You have elevated your relationship status to common pleasantries. So, wow. Light years ahead of where we started, I think, when it was just absolute despair. So how do we go to the next level, which
is conversation?
Which would be, conversational. And what circumstance, what catalyst can we put into this? Because normally for teenage girls, that would mean what? A slumber party. So what, should you do a slumber party at Meri's big, spooky, empty house? That could be a whole bonding experience right there. Maybe you could go camping, because we know Janelle loves a camping experience.
They're not ready to commit to that type of activity together.
This was amazing how shocked they were at the suggestion of doing anything for an extended amount of time, meaning like more than 15 to 20 minutes of time where it's just them. Several days away with each other. It's way too much. Janelle wouldn't even be able to handle that.
They cannot even ride in the same car together at this point.
To therapy.
They drive separate.
They're coming to therapy to talk with Nancy on like a monthly basis. They're riding separately to therapy.
Nancy holds on to that. She's like, perfect. I've got the best activity for you. We are going to listen to an audiobook from a woman. I don't know if you've heard of her. Her name is Brene Brown. And we're going to learn about vulnerability because that's something that the two of you both have a really big problem with. You're not willing to be vulnerable with one another. Listening to an audiobook together, another activity that is just too awkward for Janelle and Meri to do together.
Nancy's trying to figure out, is it because I'm suggesting that you do this in a vehicle together and it would just be you two in the car driving around somewhere? Is that the block right now? So then I think what they ended up agreeing upon was maybe we'll listen to this audiobook separately, independently ahead of time. Then maybe we can come together for 15, 20, 25 minutes max car ride where we can listen to this audiobook together, but probably not say anything to each other. Probably not ask about anything. No follow-ups, no conversation from that, because that's scary.
We're going to switch the speed to 10 times. We're going to finish that audiobook real fast.
Oh, we're burning through this thing.
They're just hoping that never happens, right? They're going to read the book separately and then be like, you know what? We're good. I don't think we need to do the activity together.
I think I got everything I needed out of that first listen by myself. If you'd like to talk about it, maybe you could send me an email.
So Nancy's trying to prepare them for this impending activity at some point in the future. So she asks Janelle to engage in a little role play. One of Nancy's favorite things to do in the office.
And we know Janelle isn't a fan of role play. If Christine were here, she'd be into it.
All for it. But Janelle, not so sure about it, especially when Nancy says, take a seat next to Meri on this very small couch.
We're going to go ahead and approach this with what I call the Cody method, which is where you squish onto the smallest seating area in the room immediately next to the person that you're trying to have a conversation with. Normally, this would be done on a love seat, particularly at the end or at the foot of a bed, but I don't have a bed in my office, so this is as close as we're going to be able to get to this scenario.
Pretend you're in the car together, though. That's what we're eventually going to be doing, right? And Janelle and Meri pretty much tell Nancy that they're not going to do this exercise in real life. Thanks for trying. Really awkward. You know, I don't love the fact that you're having us squished together on this love seat, because at least in a car, there's the center console separating us.
Yeah, this is closer than a car, so this isn't fair.
We need that amount of room between us.
We need the buffer. We need a bubble zone buffer.
They've got like a haunch touching a haunch. Is that insulting? That's what I call my hips.
That's something. There's touching and rubbing. There's physical contact that's taking place on the love seat, which is making them uncomfortable. What's making Nancy uncomfortable is she's realizing that these two women who are here for therapy to better their relationship have absolutely zero curiosity about the other person's experience. So she's like, how do I get these two people to interact with each other to want to formulate a connection? Because clearly that's not happening.
Questions Nancy is going to have to address in the time between now and their next session, because on their way out, she tells them, enjoy the awkwardness.
I'm going to write a thesis about it. You're giving me plenty of material, I'm sure, because Janelle's assessment is it's terrifying. The point in their relationship is basically, okay, now we have to open up and become vulnerable with each other. And Janelle doesn't know why this is terrifying. And it's like, you should probably know why, because you've done this before, because Meri's going to weaponize anything you share with her. That's what's going to happen. You might have blocked that out, or you haven't fully realized that that's the reason why you're protecting yourself here.
Does Nancy not realize that's the reason?
I don't think Nancy fully gets it, because I don't think Janelle even remembers most of the stuff that took place. They know that it was bad. It was bad at one time. We were constantly at it with each other, and it was bad. But that's all they've been able to describe it as.
Should we head back to the desert somewhere?
Well, we got to be getting close to the end of the hike, right? At this point, I mean, this has been going on for a little while, but we're at an interesting part of this journey where a tree has fallen on the path. Tony seems to be aware of this.
He's still working to execute this fairy tale proposal in which they are now going to need to cross over a fallen tree trunk that is a few feet above a stream.
Which they build up anticipation to, because Tony just kind of jumps right up on on the tree and takes off, and he's up and away. And Mykelti is trying to follow behind, having a little bit of struggle here and there. Luckily, she didn't biff it this time. We didn't get that on camera.
She's having a hard time. She's having a hard time figuring out how does she move her feet? Where is she going next? How is she going to get off this thing? The dismount, not really sure about it.
It's difficult. There's big distance getting off the tree. She does end up doing this, though, and Tony knew that she could do it, which is why he kept encouraging her and made sure that she was able to fulfill this part of the journey.
And didn't help her.
It seemed very odd because the tree was like off the path and then they just kind of like come back down the other side. It was completely unnecessary. You didn't need to do that part of it at all, right?
I think that was the point. He just wanted to do it because he thought it would be fun.
Was it fun?
Not for Mykelti.
Yeah, did we have fun? I think that should be the question that we should ask.
What did you think about the metaphor for their future in that Tony did not come to Mykelti's aid in any way or tried to help and make sure that she was going to be able to cross this safely after he is the one who suggested that they get into this trouble together?
Should work out. It shows that there's a level of independence within the relationship.
Sure.
There's no dependency at all.
Finally, they reach the waterfall, or I guess one of the waterfalls. It sounds like there are multiple.
Okay, yeah, and this is basically the point where, if you didn't know already, this is essentially Carly's nightmare proposal that's taking place here.
When they had to climb, I want to call it a ladder. It wasn't really a ladder.
It's not really a ladder. It's just some metal
footing.
Steps. Yeah, some footing structure there with a rope next to it.
A rope attached into the stone. And that was all you had to hold on to. Nope. I hate it. Don't propose to me after you made me sweat. I'm panting. I am starving. I almost fell down on a tree with spiky things coming out of it. And now I'm climbing up this ladder. I'm having to hold on to a rope on the wall that is definitely going to rip off if I fall and have to hold on to it. Call me uppity.
So Tony's hoping to make a romantic moment out of this. All of that. But he's nervous, and he should be, because it's going to be a tall order. They were supposed to have lunch, but then this is the culmination of it here, where all of Tony's mistakes have brought him to this moment, because he only has granola bars. He packed some lunches, but he left them. They did not make it into the bag because he was nervous about making sure he had the engagement ring, and he was memorizing his poem, reciting it in his head, and did not pack the lunches.
But that's not going to stop Tony, right? So he tells Mykelti, I've got a surprise.
And Mykelti's like, oh God, I hope it's a meatball sub. I hope it's a sandwich of some kind. I need sustenance.
No, it turns out, no. You could eat the ring if you want, but...
I don't recommend it. It's not a proper meal.
He starts the proposal by asking Mykelti if she can really deal with him.
And she thinks she can.
That's not a great way to start off a proposal.
Is it?
Do you think that you can deal with me?
Yeah.
Not romantic.
Okay.
I think that we struck out there a little bit.
I feel like they are equally awkward and very similarly awkward, because this is awkward. And you know what this felt like? This felt like church relationships from kids in high school who are at youth group who are trying to flirt with each other.
It's basically the point that they're at.
Correct. Which is why it was a little unnerving for me.
Then he pulls out a ring and gets into the squat that we mentioned, not really down on one knee. And he starts to recite his original poem. Shall we have a dramatic reading?
Oh boy, it's about what you'd expect, but Carly's written it down word for word because she really wants to make sure that it's documented here.
I know it has been but a short time, but I'd like to propose to you with a short rhyme. I propose that we live together until the very end, because you have become my best friend. We would spend our days in joyful love. We would travel the world like a majestic dove. We'll build a family upon our traditions, and we'll cook good brown food in our kitchen. All of this could be yours if you just say yes to me. What do you say? Will you marry me?
I will have to deduct a few points for rhyming me with me in the last stanza.
My favorite part is the majestic dove.
Did they end up traveling when they got married before they started having kids?
Where'd they go?
Well, I don't know.
To Salt Lake City?
Salt Lake, Vegas.
A majestic dove. But Mykelti is really really turned on by the part about them being best friends, because that is what she has felt like. In 6 months, best buds.
And you can tell Mykelti's comprehension for this that took place didn't really stick, because she's recounting the poem. The best friend bit was her favorite, and she said that was at the end. That was not at the end. That was somewhere at the beginning, somewhere in the middle there. A little earlier on, I think, more so.
She checked out partway through.
A little bit.
What about the good brown food? Like brown family food,
Like
or
brown,
just
like
brown foods?
Like Christine's rolls.
Oh.
Yeah, probably.
Some mock tapioca pudding. No?
Probably not. Yeah, not for Tony.
All of this could just be yours. Could be yours.
And that is the Pawn Star's gold and amethyst ring that he then presents to her.
It is a ring that, for some reason, she gave him the credit, but didn't he say that she picked it out?
They picked it out together 3 weeks ago.
So it's a yellow gold ring. It's an oval shape, and it's a green amethyst. I didn't know they had green amethyst, but maybe, I'm not a gem connoisseur.
Well, she might be a gem expert now with her 7 months at the pawn shop now.
That's true. I hope she got a discount at the pawn shop.
I hope she got an employee discount. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the time to use it.
So now what's the lesson here? It's that Mykelti doesn't want to wait too long because they're engaged. So let's get married really soon.
Now they've just got to go tell everyone that they're officially engaged.
So Christine can have a fucking heart attack.
Next episode, this is not your average polygamous bridal shower. A windstorm wreaks havoc. Madison receives the embarrassing gifts her mother dreaded, and wedding preparations go awry.
Right, Maddie receives a cleaning uniform, as it is represented in the preview for the next episode at her bridal shower. And what else? Cody needs Robyn's advice on how to communicate with Mykelti, as usual.
Pretty much any of the family members.
She needs to explain to him how to communicate because Robyn is much good at communicate.
It's going to be a good one. We're going to get to see a lot of awkwardness and uncomfortableness, which is always something that we love to talk about. Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast and leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Be sure to chat with us about the episode on our Discord channel by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Stay tuned, share with friends. See you next week.